Hey friends, it's me Alyssa, and I am back with Live in Local Atlanta. I'm here with my incredibly fun, amazing, fit, smart, talented friend. I'm here with Jill Charton. She is really just a fitness guru, healthy lifestyle guru. You've worked with so many of the stars, you've worked with Marvel, DC, and so many other incredible brands and people. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. I mean, we're still early in 2024. I really made a promise to myself and to you all this year that I want to highlight incredible people, incredible stories, and really keep people on their toes in terms of whether it is chasing a dream in health or going on a health journey, whether it is, getting checked in with a life coach or going to see a doctor or learning how to cook better. So I'm glad you're here today. We're going on a little health journey, and we're here to talk about health, wellness, and fitness, which is obviously your area of expertise. So I just want to dive right into it. I guess we'll start with your backstory. How did you kind of get drawn into this position in this industry, if you will?
So it's interesting. I actually started in singing, and then I moved to Atlanta in 2005, worked in the music industry, but in marketing. So that's what my degree was in. And after doing the kind of like the corporate world, right, for a little bit, just wasn't happy. I felt like a number. I didn't feel like it was really fulfilling. It wasn't my purpose. And so I did a 180 after my husband got shoulder surgery. I went with him to physical therapy, fell in love with what they did, with the whole field, right? And so then I started to work in physical therapy. And then, long story short, I just started I wanted to work with a little bit more functional rotation. And so I wanted to start my own career as an entrepreneur and as a personal trainer. So I have my own place, my own gym, and the rest is history. I've been doing it for about 14 years, so.
I love that. That is so incredible. I truly believe, we all do things we love in life, and I feel blessed to feel like I do something I love, but I could never do fitness. I work out every day. I go to kickboxing classes.
Hey,
and
that's awesome.
I love that. But I could never teach people. I've tried to do it in the past. It's just, I love it for me. Mm-hmm. And I love the results I see for me. And I don't care about other people in that regards. I'm like, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, get out of my face. So I think that's so cool that you have the passion and the heart to help people get those results they're looking for. Now, you've done a lot of, glowing up, if you will. You work with a lot of celebrities that stop by through Atlanta, whether they live here or not. You also work on the sets. How did you get into that? What was the transition from just working with people and owning a gym to working with something of that magnitude?
So it kind of just fell into my lap, right? So this was before COVID. A lot of the productions a lot of the TV series, like whether it's Stranger Things or The Walking Dead, a lot of them are shot on the outside of, the burbs, right? So I live in Peachtree City. My husband's an air traffic controller, so that's kind of why we're in that south side part of Atlanta. But really, it was just word of mouth. So a registered dietitian, first of all, I'm a huge believer and firm believer of staying in my lane. So I'm a personal trainer. I'm not going to look at your lab work and say, this is what you need to eat, right? I'm a firm believer of that. I am very passionate about staying in your lane. So full disclosure with that. So what I work with is I work with a lot of registered dietitians, orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, a lot of people in their field that I then refer them out, my clients out to them. So I actually was referred from an actress, from a registered dietitian that I work with. And from there, it was literally like, hey, you know what? One of the producers on The Walking Dead needs, your help and guidance with something. And then from there, it was just, hey, another person with this or another person with this, or hey, this client is pregnant, she doesn't know what to do. And I'm a mom of two, so I can totally relate with the pregnancy thing. So it really just kind of fell in my lap. And then during COVID, I got a call in regards, if you remember, like everything was shut down. And one of the leads from She-Hulk, she was in Canada, and Canada Toronto was shut down for quite a while.
Yes.
So I was literally one of the first people that she actually trained with face to face. And so it was kind of weird for both of us, but it was one of the things where, you're wearing a mask and you're trying to do burpees and trying to breathe and trying to drink water in the process. But that one-on-one was a little bit more, I think, important in that time frame of, not being able to go to a gym. I have a very, kind of a private setting. So it's nice because people who are, oh my gosh, who's that person? Oh, is she, so-and-so is training. It's not me, right? So it's a matter of, it's hard to get me starstruck, but at the same time, it's like, okay, what's your goal? What are you supposed to do on set? And I'll work with the production team and, let's get them going, right? So, and safely, right? So don't want to get them injured, especially when you're on set for like 12 hours a day. So, yeah.
Of course, absolutely. So I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Now, my dad always says in the Di Tommaso blood, we just can't do push-ups. And I've been working out consistently for a year, 3, 4, 5 times a week, just kind of depending on my schedule. I still really can't do a push-up. What do you think is wrong with me?
First of all, there's nothing wrong with you. And I get that a lot from women, to where they're like, I'm trying to do a pull-up. I'm trying to do a push-up. And so one thing coming from physical therapy, I think it's super important, is knowing your range. So whenever, and when I say that, I mean this. If you're going into a full-on push-up on your toes in like a plank position, and you go into a push-up, what's going to happen if you're not strong in certain areas? Your muscles are going to compensate, right? So you might dip your back. Your neck might protrude out, right? And it's just horrible form. So in order to progressively and safely do the rotation, with correct form, it's all about knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are and then progressing from there. So I would have you drop down on your knees, doing a modified. I know my son is always like, oh, those are girl push-ups,
I do
and it's
those.
like,
I
hey,
do those.
you know what? It's okay.
I do those really good.
And so compare yourself. And you said something earlier that I absolutely love, is you compare yourself to you. So if it's a kickboxing class, amazing. That's do it. Who cares what other people are doing? Focus on you, what makes you happy, right? And so if you're trying to do a push-up, then start off, you could either do on your knees, or you can even come into an incline and go into a wall. So post-surgery, with a lot of my patients in physical therapy, we would have them go against a wall, and that's just easier because you have less force that you're trying to push, from your body weight. So, and then if you need to go harder, then you come down more into a prone position. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
I can show you on this table right now, or make you do it.
I've seen people doing the wall push-ups, and I never understood, does that actually do anything? Because I feel like we oftentimes see on social media or ads on Facebook and all of these videos where we see the 3D and then the real model, and they're like, oh yeah, just sitting in a chair and like moving your legs, doing? And it's like, yeah, or it's like just lift your toes every day, and I'm like, but does that really do anything? So it's nice to hear that, and I think what's so incredible about your story is this sparked from a labor of love because you went with your husband, and I would love to hear more about how you kind of felt that calling of wanting to own your own business and be a boss babe and really strike out in that industry, because I think a lot of people, they think they're so scared to even jump on any dream, whether it is fitness or owning a real estate agency or anything like that. They're so scared to take a leap of faith on themselves. How did you feel when you were going through that process?
It was hard, honestly, and I'm not going to lie. I love that question, by the way, because no one has ever asked me that question, so thank you.
You're welcome.
It was hard. It was a very hard transition, because going from corporate America to where you have a consistent income to where I'm with a team, I want to highlight on that a little bit later, but I'm working with a team, right? Somebody's telling me what to do. I wasn't in like a leadership position or CEO or anything. So, I was in marketing, and just having that creative mindset to be able to come in, you meet with a team and you're just talking about, okay, what's on the pipeline? What do we need to get out? It was going from that to nothing to then just becoming a personal trainer. Well, at first it was physical therapy. I was still working with a team, and then going on my own as a personal trainer and bringing in clientele. It was hard. It was hard because I didn't have that supporting group to really kind of be like, okay, I need you to do this. Let's do this. Let's think about this. And so I felt very alone, right? But then also I didn't have that consistent income. And so, of course, my husband, was 100% supportive in every way. And this was before kids. And then talk about not having kids. When I was a trainer, I heard endless remarks about, oh, well, you're not a mom, so just wait, you won't have that body, or, oh, you just don't even know what it's like to not get sleep, or you don't even know what it's like, and fill in the blank, right? Or even, oh, you haven't even dealt with hormones. I'm 40 and I have 2 kids, and it's hilarious because now I'm like, like, I'm just going to end with, so it's one of those things where I've always heard, oh, but you can't relate because, oh, but you can't relate because. And for me, it's like, you know what, stop comparing and focus on yourself. So that is something that I've highlight over and over and over again, and not just with moms, but anyone, whether you're corporate America, whether you're a male, whether you're a guy, a lot of people don't put time towards themselves. And so my business, 4%, right, I4.life, is all about putting that 1 hour towards yourself to become the best version of you. And I think a lot of people don't do that. And they might say, oh, well, I have an hour to myself, or I'll, do fill in the blank. But does it really bring you joy? Does it bring you purpose? So that's something that I really try to encourage my clients to build, especially more confidence within themselves. And it's amazing to see their confidence just go through the roof, right? So.
Yes, yeah. I have to say, I really loved how you said, don't do that, because you were like, almost disgusted that you're like, people aren't spending time on themselves. And it's so true.
Yeah.
When I really switched my attitude from, oh, I only have a little bit of time to relax, whatever, to now I get excited to go work out. Now I'm like,
That's
you know what,
awesome.
even though I'm tired, even though I had a hard day, I want to go to kickboxing. I want to go on a walk.
Because you know how it's going to make you feel afterwards,
yes,
right?
and
it's
then
the
I
end
feel
result.
like,
right,
yes,
totally.
and I'm now like on days like it has to really be something where I'm like I can't do it. Like yesterday, I was like either I go to kickboxing or I take a nap because I have not slept good in like 3 or 4 days straight. So it's like I have to pick one or the other, even though I'm going to miss that feeling, but I have to sleep.
Yeah,
so.
right. And that's good that you're listening to your body, because a lot of people think, oh, well, you're just a trainer, so just put 1 hour toward yourself, and of course you're thinking about working out. And I'm like, no, it's so much more than that. Like, really, truly hone in. The power of sleep is huge, right? It controls our hormones.
Yes.
It controls our mood. It controls the choices that we make in the kitchen, because sometimes when we're so tired, or especially if you're on shift work, or if you just didn't get great sleep or quality sleep, you're just grabbing for, coffee, high sugary foods just to give you that quick energy. And so you really kind of have to work backwards and just say, okay, well, what is my hydration like? What is my sleep like? What is my nutrition like? What am I eating food that gives me fuel? Or am I malnourished in any way? Maybe I have a deficiency in vitamin C, which is why I'm a huge believer, specifically working with people, whether it's corporate America, film industry, whatever it is. A lot of people, if you're working inside and you're not getting that vitamin D, it's hard, right? And so knowing what's going on inside your body is huge. So getting your lab work done and seeing, okay, here's where everything is at. How do I get better, right? So it's a step-by-step process.
Absolutely. I think that is so incredible. And really, it's one of those things I think young people neglect because they think they're invincible. And they hear people who have life experience or have gone through something trying to be like, hey, like, take care of yourself. And it's like, yeah, tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Old people, we learn, like, I wish I would have started this at
Okay, you're 30.
20.
You're not old, first
yes,
of all.
Yes,
Okay,
but
so.
in my mind, I'm 100. I swear, in my mind, I'm an old soul. I'm 100 years old in my mind. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have taken the knowledge people were telling me at 20 and applied it then instead of at 30 when I'm like, oopsies, can't drink water before I go to sleep or else I'm going to wake up with the urgency to pee at night. Or, oh, I can't drink water, but now I'm super thirsty when I wake up in the morning. What's wrong with me? So it's one of those things, even at 30, it's like, yes, I may not be old, but it's like your body starts doing whatever it wants at whatever age. So it's like the earlier you start taking care of yourself, the better off you are. And I think that's so incredible. Now, you did mention before we really got started about getting us up and moving us around. So I do think we should show some people a couple fun, easy home workouts, whether they have 5 minutes in their office, 5 minutes at home. Just something they can do to get their body moving and the blood pumping, because really, like you're saying, and like I've just said, it's about just getting your body moving. It's the feeling
100%.
afterwards. It makes you feel so much better. So I think we'll kind of shift some stuff around, get the table a little bit pushed out of the way, and do some basic exercises. 'Cause I'm not wearing the right shoes or the right pants.
You know what? You can take them off. I love barefoot training too.
Me too. Me
great.
too. I do at home. I love to be barefoot when I work out. In public places, no.
Yeah, not public.
But let's go ahead and kind of transition the set a little bit and get started on some fun stuff you could do with us at home.
Absolutely.
You heard me. Okay, so we have gone ahead and moved some stuff around. We're going to start with a push-up. I feel like I got to take my jacket off.
Hey, just as long as you're comfortable. That's with anything, right?
Yeah, so we'll start with you critiquing my push-up. Like I asked, what's wrong with me?
There's nothing wrong with you. And so this is what I tell...
my jacket's falling apart.
This is what I tell everyone is that, you have to start where you're at, right? So don't compare yourself to anyone else. And unfortunately, there is a lot of crap out there. I'm not going to lie. As far as social media, as far as Googling, some people like to self-diagnose, and it's just like, you know what? Maybe try to focus on following physical therapists. They're awesome, right? Because they're actually honing it down and giving you the core reasons as to, where you should start and then progress and build yourself from there. So, all right, you want to do a push-up?
I'll show you the D Tomaso push-up, Dad.
In rain boots. In rain boots. Dad, this is for you. It's amazing.
Okay.
So how would you
I
go
start
into
with
a
the
normal
modified. I do the modified
I'm
push-up.
getting your strap out of the way.
Okay.
All
All right, so I do the modified push-up. I'm in the modified push-up form. Is this fine?
That's fine. So what's the position of your fingers? Forward? Because you started off out. So you're going to go forward?
Forward.
Okay,
Is that
yeah.
fine?
No,
Am I
that's
fine?
Great. That's
okay.
great. Yeah. So you just go ahead and do a couple, and then I'm going to, are you breathing?
Yes.
So you want to breathe on the exhale. So that second rep, do you notice you're protruding your neck out?
I
You're
didn't.
sticking your neck out.
No!
And so what I want you to do is imagine that I have a broomstick or some sort of dowel or mobility stick from your head all the way down to your glutes, and it should be a diagonal, so your body is moving in one unit down, and then
okay.
exhale as you come up. Now,
Okay.
don't push it. If you have your end range and you're like, nope, that's all I got, that's okay.
Okay.
So you can go there. So let's do two
Okay.
more. Tuck your pelvis under two. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Not really.
So there's twerking, right? I did a whole video on this. So I'm going to show you. Basically, if you're twerking, you don't want to dip your back this way.
Okay.
So tucking your pelvis under and keeping your core engaged. I'm going to have you try that. And then you go into that modified push-up as you come up. So
Okay.
I'm going to have you try it. So
One more time.
squeeze your glutes as
Okay.
you come down.
Okay.
And that will help protect your lumbar, right? Your lower
Okay.
part of your back. So again.
All right.
So big inhale.
So far, so
Go for
good.
it. Perfect. You're doing
Okay.
great. So tuck your pelvis, squeeze your glutes. Go for it. Come down. There we go. Good. And come up. Are you breathing? You're a quiet breather.
I
Good.
try.
One more. Good. Just watch that neck look out in front of you. Now, if you
Okay.
wanted to do a push-up on something higher, that would be easier for you because
Okay.
you're coming up. It is an incline, so it's going to be less weight or force that's pulling you right down.
Okay.
So, yeah, which is why you see people doing push-ups against the wall.
I'll have to start doing wall push-ups.
Yeah?
I'll start over from the very beginning. Now, some other easy exercises people can do at home include lunges,
Yeah,
even a
absolutely.
modified burpee, if you will, where
Yeah.
they just go down, touch their toes, lift the toes.
Right, or just
and
go into a
up.
plank, and you don't have to add the jump or the push-up with it, too.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
a great
I
way.
try and avoid the planks, to be honest. But let's start with an easy lunge that people can follow.
So a lunge, a lot of people say, Jill, what do you normally do with your rotations and how do you train? I love dynamic rotation. I love training on all planes of motion, meaning a lot of people, if you think about when you go into a gym, sometimes I just love to go and just look and see what people are doing. Everyone is in forward motion, whether you're doing the treadmill, stair stepper, elliptical, whatever it is. Those typical conventional workout pieces in the gym, I'm going to challenge you to add a little bit of balance and a little bit of stability.
Okay.
And so we're going to work on all planes of motion. So I'm going to have you stand where I am. I'm going
Okay.
to have you go into a front lunge and step out with your left. So as you step out with your left foot,
Okay.
go into a lunge. There we go. Maybe a little bit more.
Okay, more?
Yeah,
More?
yeah.
Okay,
And
I
you
can
want
do
to think
this.
about your feet shoulder width apart. So as you go down into a lunge, I want you to go down. And now what you're
Okay.
going to do is you're going to add that rotation. So you're here. You're going to add that rotation. Twist your torso over, slow and control, just over to the left.
Ah!
Yeah, so slow and control. So step out with your left, drop down to a squat, rotate, and then just stop center.
Okay,
And then you come
stop
back.
center.
Yep. And then you
All
would
right.
alternate.
I could do this. I could definitely
So you
do
could
this.
do a walking lunge if you have a kettlebell, dumbbell, but you're going to go just once. So step out to the left. Go with me. Ready? So step out. Good. Cross over, hold, and then slow and control. Because if you have a kettlebell, that's going to be more weight using your core.
Oh, good point.
Right?
Good
so
point.
you're working on all planes of motion.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. You have me sweating already.
That's good.
Wow. Okay, this was good. Now I'll try it with the right side.
There we go.
Stepping more. Step more. More.
Yeah,
Is this
so the
good?
goal is you want your back leg to be, your back knee to be directly underneath your hip.
Okay.
And then that knee to be tracking over this toe. So a lot of people, when I say raise up your toe,
Okay.
and you push through the heel or the posterior of your body, so go ahead and drop down again into a squat, raise that toe. See how you're balanced? You're just kind of, well, you're also in rain boots. I just want to highlight that again.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. But that's something to keep in mind, too. A lot of times when you go into a forward rotation or forward momentum, that knee tracks over the toe. And then over time, I saw it in physical therapy all the time, you start to get more patellar tendonitis and that pain in the front part of your knee. So you want to work the posterior, the back side, just as much as you do with everything else in, rotations and exercise. So
Absolutely. Can you talk about the importance of hydration and all of this when you are working out?
Yeah, we doing this standing up. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we can.
So hydration is key. You had said earlier that, you know what, I really think that I don't get enough water throughout the day. Or if you think about, oh, you know what, I'm thirsty already. So if you're thinking about the fact that you're thirsty, that means you're already dehydrated. If you're dehydrated, you're not going to put in maximum effort into the gym because you're already losing, you're tired, you don't have that strength that you could if you're hydrated. So a lot of people are like, okay, well, especially being in the South during the summer times when it's so humid, and if you train outside too as well, you're going to sweat more. And so it's just really important, just not even for, you know, all of our organs, and including our skin, which is an organ, but just everything from the functionality of our body. You know, we need to be hydrated. And a lot of times we think we're hungry, and we're not. We're just thirsty. So a lot of times people are like, oh, I need to eat. When really the underlying factor is that they're just dehydrated and they're thirsty. So, yeah.
And I think that's such an incredible thing to touch on. I mean, I drink about 4 or 5 bottles of water a day, and sometimes I still feel so thirsty, about 17 ounces per bottle, and I still feel so thirsty. What can you attribute that to? Weather, physical activity, still not drinking enough water?
It could be, what are you eating? So if you're eating things with like higher sodium, if you go out to eat, let's say you said your husband was, you know, Lebanese from, you know, so if it's one of those things where maybe if you're eating a lot of high sodium foods, then you're going to want to drink more, right? So it could be just the amount of sodium intake has increased, and maybe that's why you're thirsty. But I definitely would recommend starting first thing in the morning, because when you're sleeping throughout the night, you're not drinking as much. So first thing in the morning, you want to stay hydrated, pound at least 1 or 2 bottles first thing, and then keep going on. So yes, you're going to make more, you know, bathroom stops, but you will get used to it. Your body will get accustomed to it. So.
Absolutely. I think that is so incredible. Jill, how can people stay in touch with you, find out more information about I4 and all of that?
Social media, website, either one. It's Jill Charton, Jillcharton, if I can spell my last name.
I have that problem too.
Charton, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Say it one more time.
Jill Charton. So, yeah, any social media handle, you'll find me there.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. This is Live and Local Atlanta. I'm your host, Alyssa. Make sure you download the free Odyssey app today. That's AUDACY inside the App Store, so you can get notified of exclusive conversations just like this one with my dear friend, health and wellness guru, fitness guru, you name it, she's done it. I'm here with Jill, and of course you can give me a follow across all social media at itsme_LysD. Let me know how I did on my push-up if you want. I mean, maybe I won't put like, I don't know. Just let me know how I did. So anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for joining us.